Welcome to Feisty Chess. I've got white. I'm playing e4 against Lonely Bro on Lee Chess. We're going to have a French defense. It's been a while since we've had one of these on the channel. I like to go knight c3. Okay. Against the Winawer, I'll stick with what I usually do here, which is this bishop d2 line. So usually black spends a minute to think here. Oh, but this player knows a good move, knight e7. Okay. Is queen g4 good now? Probably not that good. What if we do this? And if he takes, I'm going to take with the b pawn anyway. Better to have a pawn that can recapture on d4. I'll retain the bishop pair then, and this bishop actually has made a useful move because black will often want to play queen out to a5 here, pinning and putting pressure on this pawn, and there's fork problems you have to watch out for. So the bishop actually is quite good on d2 here. Yeah, let's just play knight f3. And if the queen comes to b6, I just go rook b1. Okay. I'll play the bishop to d3. I have to remember to leave e2 open in case he ever kicks it. With c4, but that can't be that good for black. That just shuts down play on the queen side and relieves all the pressure from d4. Okay, black hasn't castled yet. And I think I'd like to castle. That center could still open up some. A lot of times when the center is going to stay closed, you don't have to castle. But even in those cases, it's not usually a bad idea. Okay, so he's relieved some pressure off the center. His king is still in the middle. Can I start thinking about opening things up here? Let's look at c4. He's got to take with the knight. Well, no, he doesn't. He doesn't, actually. It's not that forcing. Let's consider other things. I can look at knight g5 myself. Trying to get f4 in. But then after h6, how about taking on c5? Actually, okay, let me go back to c4. If he takes with the pawn, I can just take here, and he recaptures with the queen. Then I can take here. And then we got queen takes at the end of that line. Okay, but he doesn't have to. He could take with the knight. And then take, take. And I could just go c3. He's got an extra pawn there, but I might have compensation. Okay, maybe just rook e1. Okay, all that thought, and I'm just making a sensible move. Okay, he's going for this. Recapture with the pawn. He could have a knight on c4, I suppose. Okay, how do I get stuff going on the king side? Maybe we start with bishop g5? Bishop... Bishop b4 looks interesting. Yeah, bishop b4 seems to make some sense. Okay. Okay, there's no pressure on d4, so I'm free to play like knight e2. But the problem is he's got knight b2. So I need to stop knight b2 here. If he tries b4, or sorry, a5, I might just go for... Okay, here I think it's time to chop. And if he takes the queen, I take here. I'm not sure that's any good. Okay, rook e2 is a way of defending here. Do I just need to give up on c2? How can I kind of break through? Knight d2 won't really work now. Well, where's this knight going to go? Actually, that might work. Well, his knight can capture, and then queen takes. I just got to trust that losing that pawn, I'll have enough compensation, because I'm ultimately lined up against this pawn, and I can get in there with check. I can take this knight. So yeah, we're gonna put this pressure on the knight immediately. Lonely Bro's playing pretty quick here, and I think it's clear he's got his plan based on his win hour that he may know better than I do. So yeah, if he captures, we're going to take with the queen. And what I'm hoping for, or what I'm kind of relying on here, let's say takes, bishop takes, and I've got to take with my bishop. Queen takes, I better take with my queen. Rook takes, and then I got bishop takes, king takes, rook takes with check, and then I'm grabbing that pawn and defending my weak pawn here. I might be able to keep a pawn. It might be more important for me to protect d4 there, but after rook takes with check, I'm looking good. So that's because black hasn't castled yet. If he doesn't take, yeah, okay, on this, I might just... yeah, I might just play my knight here. Yeah, because now I'm going to have a nice happy square for my knight. And his bishop is kind of silly. If he wants to trade this bishop off for a piece, under good circumstances, like I'm going to play knight here and then take the bishop. So if he wants to take it now, well, then he loses his outpost for his knight. And if he ever tries any a5 business, I can always chop on e7, saving my bishop and saving a tempo as he needs to recapture that bishop. Looks like I'm managing to play on the queen side here. With good effect. If he plays knight here, okay, now I'm looking at this. This looks like it's hanging, but after takes, ooh. Maybe I need to take on here first. That looks good. Now he has to take with a pawn. I'm gonna chop here. Now d4 is solid, and my knight's gonna get to c5. And he still can't castle. Oh, he's taking there. Okay. Can I take here with check and just be up a pawn? Well, he's gonna get... Okay, take. I don't have to take. I just got to calculate some things here. Now my knight will be awesome on c5, and he can't take this knight right now because I'll just recapture with the bishop and I'm up a piece. So after he recaptures with whichever pawn, I'm jumping my knight to c5, and that knight is the best piece on the board. Oh, he can capture with the queen. Okay. Still, this... I didn't consider capturing with the queen. How do I hang on to my stuff? Queen d3 looks pretty bad. There's a big problem with knight c5 here, obviously. Ah, okay, I did not consider the capture with the queen. I'm going to try this trick. I'm not sure this is very good, but I think it'll allow me to take over the C file. He's not going for it. What's the plan here? Let's just defend stuff. Oh, that doesn't really defend anything. Okay. Come into d6 with the knight. See what we can make of it. Rook c5 would make me, c4 would make me happy here. Okay, we'll grab up this pawn. Take what we can get. Hitting this other pawn. That knight is looking pretty sad. On the rim if I take. Actually, after rook c7, it's just gone. So I can't take. Oof. This is not pretty, folks. I think I'm finding only moves here. Just rook takes pawn. Okay, yeah, he's gonna get that in first. He can just trade off. Whew. Okay, that's resignable. Unfortunate here. Played some games earlier today, started off pretty well, and then I took a sour turn. This came down to a tactic, didn't it? Oh, that bishop coming to a4. I should have gone a4 here, shutting out that bishop. I didn't see the bishop coming to a4. I still not too late here. Okay, let's see what El Computador has to say about it. Knight e7. Now knight b5 anyway. a3 is also another. Okay. Winawer variation. Bishop takes is the main line. Wow, b takes is not played very often. Actually, white's okay here. Let's see, bishop takes. I mean, it just doesn't seem... What's the stats look like for white? Okay. So yeah, in the main line, you do play bishop takes. I mean, you're trying to keep your pawn structure intact. That counts for something. But I got black to resolve those problems for me. Maybe, let's see. Bishop d3. Oh, no game found. So here, yeah, castling is good. I got a pretty good advantage. Knight g5 is the right idea. Okay, knight g5, what about just h6? We got it back to h3. Oh, queen h5. Just queen h3. Okay. Yeah, this would definitely be more feisty. I'll have to remember this. I mean, that's a pretty obvious attacking pattern. I saw knight g5. I was like, that looks like a good kind of move. It gets my queen open on this diagonal, but after h6, I didn't see queen h5. I mean, that's very thematic. I should be able to see that. So, yeah. That looks really nice. c4 now is kind of forced just to take white off that dangerous diagonal, I guess. Now here comes bishop a4. Rook to c1 seems kind of lame. But you just sit tight, and how else is black going to attack? Knight back to c6. Now we go with bishop g4. So we're threatening some sacrifices here. Maybe bishop takes and then knight takes, cracking open black's position. Maybe thinking about f4, f5 at some point. I'd even consider, oh, there's queen h5 here. Or just knight f7. Does that work? Not at all. Okay, well that's fun. That would have been more fun than the game I played. That's why I'm looking at it so extensively. So instead, I went with rook e1. Now, it was one of those moves, I do this a lot. It was one of those moves where I looked at a lot of different moves. I think if I remember right, I looked at some forcing kind of tactical moves like c4, like d takes. I looked at knight g5, and I wasn't satisfied with any of them. And then I noticed I had running my clock, and I just saw, oh, rook e1 makes sense, and I made it. I didn't think about it at all. Didn't think about black's threats in the position. But yeah, knight g5. If I'd seen that follow-up idea of queen h5, it would have been a very different game. Learning for next time. All right, but it still likes my position a lot. Ooh, this is a big mistake. Yeah, knight d2. Knight b3. Bishop c5. Okay. Maintaining some flexibility here. Bishop c5. And then it just tells black to go for h5. So now the plan is bishop takes c4. B takes c4. Bishop, yes. Okay, this is what I thought. Bishop here. And now it likes c takes b3. Just gives up the queen. Because what if you don't? What if you go, oh, I don't know. Queen d7. Oh, look at the knight and the bishop just checkmate that queen pretty near. So how about Queen d8? Sad move to have to make. Knight c5 anyway. We're hitting this bishop. The bishop is gone. Wow. Okay. Okay, I was still good here. Things were good. But I missed the importance of keeping the pieces on the board. The point of this is to give me time for this, and then, yeah, the point of this is to give me time so he can't respond with knight takes bishop here. Now I get this in, and yeah, wow, the best line is just taking the knight. Yeah, oh, and I don't want to do this just yet because I'll lose a rook. So I do this. Now he saves his queen, but I get the bishop. Material is more or less equal. I've got 2 pawns, but they're kind of useless. But I have a much better position. So it's not about material here. I wonder here, can I just take the queen? Oh, it's good for black. Queen d3 and then win a whole rook. What's the material look like? I'm kind of up an exchange. Oh, I'm not though, because he's going to get that bishop in the end. Okay. Yeah, he's got 2 minors and a rook for the queen, so that's definitely good for white. For black, sorry. Wow, that's a crazy line. I doubt my opponent would have seen that, and he probably would have given up the bishop with a move like... Yeah, maybe queen here so that he could defend the bishop now. But I gotta have something that's just killer here. Rook e3. We're just gonna lift the rook. Yeah, white just has overwhelming dominance of the board. Bishop c2 is even the recommended move. What if black just plays some other moves, some nothing moves here? Rook to b7. Queen b6. Well, we don't want to give up our queen so quickly. But wow, what black's just shut down. There's very little black can do. I suppose you can try this. Okay, and yeah, this is no longer making much sense to me, but white just looks like he has a nice position. So okay, instead I took here. That allowed him to take there, but still I'm fine if I go knight c5. Get that knight to c5. Even though he has this now. I've got bishop takes check. Okay, so king e7. Queen g4. Just give up the exchange. After all, we're on that knight still. Knight c6 is best? What about bishop taking? Just take g7. The threat is coming here, and then I'm winning your rook with check next move. How does knight c5 make that any better? Okay. Rook b7. Oh. Rook c7. Rook b8. Rook c8. Knight b7. Knight to b7. What about rook takes? Check. The knight and the queen are too good. King c7. Queen f7. And then we're, well, no, that doesn't win the bishop. Queen f4. Well, okay. I mean, obviously it looks like the material's equal, but I'd much rather be white here, of course. Okay, lots of missed chances. Just letting bishop takes c2 happen. Okay, now it's c3. c3. What about queen takes c3? That looks like just a losing move. Rook c1. Oh. Okay, taking advantage of that. And if takes, take with the queen, and he has to take. And I can still take with the rook. So, okay, he can't take my knight because of the skewer on the back rank. So he castles. Now I get knight c5 in. After all that. And he goes h5. h4. Makes sense. Rook c8. I would go rook a1 here. Apparently that's not the best move. a6. Rook c3 is apparently a better move. Oh, I see. That makes this threat. Rook e8. Well, that gives me the file. Knight b7. I'm just going to let that bishop sit. My knight's way better, of course. Of course. Why? I kept looking at ways to trade it and win the pawn, but my knight, the bishop can do nothing over here, and all the action is going to be around here. So rook a8 to defend. We just afford to march our king in. Everything looks better for white. I got there, but I couldn't get all the way there. So even here, c3. c3 is fine. Yeah, this not so good. Yeah, queen d3. I should have gone for this. His pawn is backwards, so we've each got a bad pawn here. Okay. Well, I can look at this all day. Yeah, rook c2. I just could not defend the pawn. There's nothing to be done about that. Maybe knight c5 would have been a better try. Bishop takes c2. Queen to d2. So, I mean, he's won the exchange, and a pawn. But look, he's only got a very tiny advantage because my knight is such a beast. And it involves rook takes c5 and the lines the computer looks at. You just got to get rid of that knight. It's better than a rook right now, so. Okay. Well, things went downhill pretty quickly. Yeah. Okay, well, lesson there is I should be a lot feistier, being willing to give up the exchange, look for counterplay rather than just trying to hold everything together. And also, of course, as always, time trouble. Thanks for watching, folks. Stay feisty.